Okay, this is interaction within organism and their non-living environment, right? Now, there are two type of ecosystem, two main type of ecosystem. What is the first one? Land ecosystem. It's called the terrestrial ecosystem. Okay, terrestrial mean land. What is the second one? It is water. So it's going to be called aquatic or water ecosystem. Okay, so that's ecosystem on Earth, whether land or water. That's the easy classification. Now, for the terrestrial or land ecosystem, it is divided into 10. Sometimes in other book is 9 to 10 biomes. Okay? So it has 10 biomes. What is biomes? Biome is a large ecosystem on Earth that have similar characteristic, and they have a very special characteristic of organism or community on that specific biome. Usually biomes, it is affected by temperature and precipitations. Okay, so there are many non-living environments that organisms live. Maybe like a temperature, precipitation, humidity, water, soils, pH. That's all non-living environment for organism to live. Two of them is very important to actually create these 10 type of biomes. What are the two non-living environment that create this 10 biome? Is actually temperatures and precipitation. So based on the temperature and precipitations, the land ecosystem will be divided into 10 biomes. You follow this? They are very, specific characteristic for each biomes. Now, we're gonna put in that kind of picture over here. I think we need more. Okay, that's good. Okay. Okay. Again, there are two environmentals or non-living environments that will create this biome. The first one is we're going to put it here on the x-axis, which is the temperature. Okay, we're going to use the centigrade, Celsius, which is this is international metric system. Right? And then the y-axis over here is going to be annual precipitation. Okay, how much rain that this place get every year. So this is annual precipitations. Okay, for this, then we can put, let's say, I'm gonna put 10 over here. Gonna put 30 centigrade, which is hot. Okay, so this one may be around 80 to 85 Fahrenheit. This is 10. Then we have, let's say, 20 centigrade over here. We have 0. Okay, and this is, let's say, minus 10 centigrade. Okay, Celsius. Now, that's the temperature on Earth, most likely within this range. Sometimes hotter, sometimes cooler. Okay, but in average, this is average. Okay, this is average. Okay, now for the annual precipitations, let's say we put 400 centimeters, which is really a lot of rains on that place. Let's say in the middle we put 200 centigrade. This is 0 centimeter per year. This is going to be 100, 300, 250, 50 over here, 150, 350, and etc. Okay, so that's the annual precipitation. Now, if we look at the temperatures, okay, then on the left side over here, it's going to be cold, right? Because it is 0 or minus 0, right? This is cold. So this is what we call the frigid zone. You get it? And then look at this over here. It's going to be hot. So this place over here is going to be hot. Or usually it's called the tropic. Tropic or torrid zone. Okay, tropic, torrid mean hot and humid. Okay, so here mostly from 20 to 30 is going to be tropical zone. Frigid zone is going to be 0 or below 0. Right? And then between this 0 to 20, this is where we live right now. Right? It's called the temperate zone. Okay, can you follow this? Now, if you look at the annual percentage over here, okay, the top one over here gonna be wet, right? Because so many rain, so many water on that place. So that's what's gonna be wet. Okay, and then on the bottom here also gonna be dry. Can you follow that classification? What? It's really simple. The bottom one is temperature, and the y-axis is gonna be the annual precipitation. This is actually the one that will create the biomes on Earth, the 10 biome. Now, for the tropical, so we're gonna start with the first biomes. Okay, it's gonna be here. It's gonna be wet and hot. What? Tropical, wet, and hot. Okay, so usually above 150. So they have annual precipitation above 250 centimeter, which is really, really a lot of rains. Okay, sometimes give them flooding. So this one is going to be biome number 1. Hot and wet. What is it going to be? It is because this is located in the tropical zone. It's going to be called a tropical. That's easy name, right? Tropical. And because this is a lot of rain, then it's going to be what? Rain. You with me? And that two combination actually make a lot of big plants live on that area, creating a forest. Are you with me? Therefore, it's called a tropical rainforest. Can you follow that? So in that place, it's actually the highest biodiversity on Earth will be present. So all the highest diversity will be located in the tropical rainforest, whether in Asia, Africa, or South America. You get this one? They have a lot of organisms that live in this area. Are you with me? Okay, now, second is going to be have lower annual percentage, but still located in the tropical area. In this place, the plant, some plant actually start to fall their leaves. So they have kind of season. Just like here, but it's not, all plants will be, what you call this, don't have leaf. There are still plants that have leaf, right? So we're going to put this over here. Okay, this one is going to be the second biome. So I put you here in order it's easy to follow how actually they create these biomes. Okay, now lower precipitations, okay, but still in the hot area is create number 2 over here. What is number 2? Still in tropical, so therefore it's called a tropical. Okay, now it is kind of have seasons a little bit. Dry, because it's dry, sometimes wet. Dry and wet season. You get this one? Therefore, it's called a tropical seasonal forest. Okay, during the dry seasons, the plant or the trees will have less leaf. But during the rainy season, there will be a lot of leaf, greener. Okay, so that's the second place. Okay. Now after that, it's gonna be even less rain. It's gonna be drier. But still in the tropical area, but they also can go to the temperate area. Okay, that's gonna be, okay, this is gonna be number 2 like that. This is number 3. Okay, because it is drier, less rain, then the tree will be smaller. It will not give the big tree. Okay, mostly it's going to be shrub or scrub land. So it's going to be scrub land. Okay, or woodland. The tree is smaller. Okay, on your book over here, okay, it's only mentioned it's tropical, but actually it can also goes to the temperate area. There are some shrubland that actually located in the temperate area, okay, in the temperate zone. Next is this one. I'm gonna put this savanna over here. Okay? The savanna is also located actually in the tropical area. There are so many savanna in Africa. This is where actually you can find lion. But in your book, they only put it in the temperate zone, which is not really correct. Because what? Okay. Okay, you ready to go? Hey, gonna put this. Okay, that savanna will have less rain. So number 4 over here is gonna be all the way. Okay, here. Okay, so we're gonna put that savanna. Okay, and then of course under that it's going to be really dry. Okay, really dry, therefore it's here. But it is also located in the tropical, and there are many also desert, right? Many desert actually located also in the cold area. Okay, therefore number 5 over here is actually all the way here. You with me? That's number 5. It's going to be a little bit different with your textbook. I put you on the real, the factual condition. Okay, the desert will be all the way from tropical area even to the temperate area. That's the desert. Okay. Now, the same thing actually with the grassland. There are some grassland that actually located on the, I'm gonna put grassland number 6. Okay. So what I mentioned over here, this book is not, this picture on the book is not really, actually give you the factual conditions. Because grassland There are a lot of grassland also in the tropical area. We have a lot of grassland in our country where the horse, they live. Okay, what is the difference between savanna and grassland? Grassland have a lower grass. Savanna have a higher or taller grass. Get this one? Yeah, but they also present in the tropical area. Therefore, I also put the grassland going there on the tropical area. You follow this? Now we're going to go to the next zone, which is the temperate. In the temperate area, you're going to see also an area that have a lot of rain on the temperate zone. Therefore, it will also have a big trees. And this is the logging area, especially for the United States. This is where actually most of the logging area is coming from. So this is what we call the temperate rain forest. A lot of rains on that area, but it is located in the temperate zone in United States, for example. Can you tell me which state that have this kind of biomes? Which state? A lot of lodging on that place. Big tree. Oh. Yeah, but it's not really. Mostly gonna be on the West Coast. Yeah, Washington, Orlando, Portland. Okay, Washington. What is Portland? Oregon. Okay, Oregon. That's actually the lodging place for United States because what? Temperate rainforest, big tree. But it is located in the temperate. A lot of rain. And then under that, which is us. Kentucky, Tennessee, middle part of United States mostly have this. Eastern and Mid-Eastern, will have this, many of these kind of biomes. What is that? When actually during the fall, you don't see leaf. What do you call that forest? What do you call that forest? This is a special name for area where the leaf is actually fall, during fall season. Anybody have idea the name? It should be there. Well, it's called the temperate, but there is a special name for that. The area that change their leaf during season. Yes, deciduous. Deciduous or temperate. Temperate seasonal forest. This is actually the common name, deciduous forest. We live in this area. We are living in this deciduous biomes. Kentucky, Tennessee, West Virginia. We are mostly in this area. Okay, now over here on the kind of close the frigid zones, less rain but it's cold, you're gonna have number 9 over here. But most of the tree will be green all the time. Evergreen forest. Okay, and that tree mostly in a group of special phylums in the plant, which is Gymnosperm. What is the first phylum of Gymnosperm? That they have the corn. Yeah, what do you call it? Conifer, right? Okay, that's actually the name most of the time. It's called the coniferous. Okay, coniferous forest. Sometimes it's also known as a boreal. Boreal, coniferous, that's the same name. Okay, you got this one? And the last one, of course, on the frigid zones, cold all the time. This is going to be number 10 over here. And only one type of car can go there, which is made of Toyota. What is that? What is the name of that biome? Tundra. Yeah, tundra. This is going to be located in the frigid zone, tundra. I don't know whether they're really able to go together or not. Okay, so tundra. So that's the 10 biomes of terrestrial ecosystem. So if you see this spread on land, right, from the tropical to the what you call the pole, whether south or north pole, right? It spreads like that. So in the tropical area, you mostly will see this tropical rainforest, seasonal forest, shrubland, some savanna, desert, and grassland. This is also located in the tropical area. And then after that, a little bit colder, you might see the temperate rainforest and deciduous forest. And then when it is even colder and colder, you will see the boreal forest. Most of the Canada, for example, they have boreal type of forest, coniferous. And then, of course, on the pole, maybe you find tundra ecosystem. You still see some plant, which is very, very, very small, and some animals that live in this tundra area. So this is but this one also can create with the, what we call the altitude. This is actually based on what we call the latitude. From tropical to the pole, there is also distribution of these biomes on the altitude based on the height. If you go to the mountain, it's going to be actually giving the same type of biomes. So which one is colder, on the top of a mountain or on the bottom of the mountain or the valley? Which one is colder? On the top. So the top, many mountains, like for example Mount Everest, they have what? Snow, ice all the time. So over here, you're going to see the tundra too. Are you with me? Even though they are located in a tropical place. Because the mountains is actually the highest, the place, the colder it's going to be. So before that, then you're going to be a lot of pines tree, which is what? Coniferous forest. Anybody climb the tree? I mean, climb the mountain before? I used to climb. I used to go to several mountains in Indonesia. It takes 5 hours, 6 hours to walk until go to the top of the mountain. And usually we're going to see this stratification. At the bottom, you're going to see a lot of rainforest. So number 1 over here. Maybe deciduous a little bit. A lot of grasses over here. And then a lot of, after that, pine tree. And then you're going to see over here another grasses on the top of the mountain. Especially if the mountain is not too high. So Mount Everest is about 8,000 meters. That's the highest one, 8,000 to 9,000. The mountain that I climb usually around maybe 3,000, 4,000. If it is above 5,000, usually you will see the what we call the ice, the snow. The snow that never melting. I mean, it's is stay there. But if it is lower than 5,000 meters, you don't really see the snow on the top of the mountain. I never climbed the mountain that have snow because we don't have it in our country. The highest mountain in our country is about 4,000 meters. But if you go to Mount Everest or you go to the Argentina, there is a mountain that also have the snow on it. Again, this distribution can also happenings based on the altitude. Why? Because it's going to be different temperature too. From hot to really cold. Can you follow this? This is the terrestrial land, terrestrial ecosystem. It's divided into 10 biomes. Do you have questions? I'm gonna erase that and continue with the aquatic ecosystem. Now we go to the aquatic ecosystem. Okay, so over here, the aquatic ecosystem. The aquatic ecosystem can be divided into two main types also. Right? There are two main types of aquatic ecosystem. The first one will be the water that is salty. Okay, so salty aquatic ecosystem, it is called marine. Okay, marine ecosystem. Okay, you get this one? The second type will be fresh water. Therefore, it's called the fresh water ecosystem. You get this one? Okay, really easy, straightforward. Marine, which is salty, and then fresh water. Between them, there is also some people make it what we call the brackish. Brackish ecosystem, which is not too salty, but it's not fresh. Okay, like for example, close to the oceans, between the river and the ocean, when they meet, is create this brackish type of ecosystem. But we will not learn that one. Okay, we just gonna learn just marine and freshwater ecosystem in this class. Okay, now marine ecosystem. Okay, if you look at this, I'm gonna put the picture. Okay, over here. This is the marine ecosystem. What is marine is salty, but most of the time they are very deep. Okay? This is ocean, sea. They are deep water. Therefore, it can be divided into many zones. As you look at this picture, okay? Let's say this is the beach, and then go all the way down. Okay. Okay. So it can be divided into two main zones. Okay. The bottom one, which is the place where many sessile organisms live, is called benthic. This is benthic zone. All the way. Okay. This is all still benthic over here, okay? Which is the bottom of the ocean where organisms live, benthic. The organism that live in this place is called benthos. If you learn environment, okay, when people say, I will take a benthos organism, what does it mean? The organism that live in the benthic zone on the bottom of the ocean. It can be also used for freshwater, like a lake. It's going to be the same, benthic, which is bottom. And then the second zones will be this. The water column is called the pelagic zone. Okay, so the water part is pelagic, and the bottom part is benthic. Okay, that's the division of this marine ecosystem. Now, if you look at this, okay, let's say we're going to go to the pelagic. It can be divided into several layers. Okay, because it's really deep, it will be divided into layers. The top layer, this is the layer that they get a lot of sunlight. So, a lot of sunlight, so therefore, you're going to have a lot of algae, which is the producer that live in this area. That area is called the photic zone. What does photo mean? Light. This is the light zone. Okay? And under that, there will be apoptic, kind of no light. Okay? And then after that, it's going to be complete darkness. So on the apoptic, you might still kind of light a little bit. It's not really dark. But under that, it's going to be complete darkness area. That one is called the abyssal zone. Abyssal zone. If it is usually up to 4,000 meters down. Okay, that's going to be abyssal. Under that, there is actually another zone. If the ocean is really, really deep, okay, there is another zone. It's called the Hadal zone. This is really, really, really deep, with different pressure. That's called the Hadal zone. Can you follow this? This is the pelagic zone, divided into many layers. Okay, you get this one. So a lot of definition, a lot of classification over here. Now, if you look at from the beach to the ocean over here, you will also have several zones, where animal or plant or organism live. The first one is called over here. So there will be area when sometimes it get water, sometimes not. Okay, during the high, what's it called? High tide and low tide. You with me? So that area sometimes get the water during the high tide and no water during the low tide. That area is called the intertidal zone. Usually you're going to see SpongeBob friends over here. Who is that? Starfish. Starfish will be a lot in the intertidal zone. Okay, the starfish, the Bristol star, you're going to see a lot on that intertidal zone. Are you with me? Now, the second zone is over here. You see this one? This area, the benthic over here, still get the light, right? Which is in the photic zones of the layer, but we're talking about the benthic area over here. Over here, you're going to see a lot of sea anemones. So you're going to see Nemo, his friend, his house in this area. Okay? And this is what we call the neritic zone. So when we're snorkeling, mostly we're going to go to this area. We will not go to this Hadal zone unless we're going to use the scuba diving. We're going to be deeper. But just snorkeling, usually we are in the neritic zone. We're going to see a lot of coral. Sea anemones, their friend, will be here. And then the open area over here is called, we call the oceanic zone. Okay? Can you follow this classification first? That's how this marine ecosystem divided.